there. Good morning once again, and thank you so much for staying with us on Sunrise at Sea this morning. Well, today is actually a beautiful, bright Tuesday morning. Yes, I should say the 20th of September 2022. Welcome back from the Twitter jabs, and welcome to our viewers. My name is Agi Oase, and today we are talking about a conversation it's a very big aspect of our lives. And if you are 18 and above, 18 years of age and above, then this is probably a situation that you have gone through. So we are talking about breakups. If you have been in love before, and by the way, we are not just limiting it to romantic relationships. We are talking about platonic, relationships. That is, your friendships with your friends. It can be any person that you actually have a beautiful relation with at some point. There are no guarantees to anything when it comes to friendship and relationships. A breakup could happen anytime, very unprecedented, I am telling you. So yes, we are going to talk about how you can handle them and even the rules when it comes to breakups. Joining me today is Priva Elivers. Good morning, Priva.
Good morning for the 100th
Well, this is
time.
like, I almost said we've been saying this like, I don't know, 3-4 times again.
Oh, yeah.
But you're well?
Well, I like the fact that you talked about the weather. Earlier in my preamble, I said, who is not tired of the rain? Because I am. I was. And I'm happy to see the sun out.
I think there are those moments when I actually want it to rain.
In the night?
Yes, in the night,
Not
but when I don't have to wake up very early and be at work, yes, those are the moments when I never want it to rain. So let's talk about breakups today. I don't think I should define this, but breakups are, this is when you disintegrate or disperse from a friendship, from a relationship, from a loved one, from anything. So Priva, to start with,
yes.
Let me ask a very personal question. Have you ever found yourself in a situation of a breakup?
Girl.
No,
It's not obvious.
It is obvious.
It is obvious. I think it's obvious. I feel like everyone who is at least above, let me say above 25, if you've been like on the dating scene, you've definitely encountered a breakup. But the dating scene, well, let's take it to, personal friendships. Not too long ago, I was going through a breakup with my best friend. That's also a thing.
Your best friend?
Yes, and I feel like people don't really understand that platonic relationships such as friendships can actually hurt more even than having a physical relationship with someone. Because this is someone that you've looked at, you've been together for a couple of years, you've discussed your life goals, you've pictured them at your wedding, you've pictured them being an auntie to your kids, you've pictured this person like basically being in your life, and now they are normal. So how do you deal with that? So yes, I think I've dealt with breakup, but I think for me actually platonic relationships hurt more than romantic relationships.
Really, they
absolutely,
do.
Absolutely.
Well, I've also had a few breakups in the past with friends and people that I have dated in the past. Yes, and
how
I must
many?
say, no, they don't have to be many. When I say people, I mean that is a plural of
two or more.
Yeah, 2 or more. So it's not more than 2. I must say.
Yes.
But anyway, sometimes when it comes to especially romantic relationships, there are rules that apply to this kinds of relationships, and also the breakup and post breakups, how you handle them, how you move forward, how you handle how your interactions with the other person that you've broken up with. So in the past, I have heard of a statement that says that when you break up with a certain gentleman, that is if you're dating a man, when you break up with them, then you don't have to talk to their friends and their family. Now, whenever you get into a relationship, chances are you get really close to this person that you end up being friendly with their friends. Being friends with their friends, being friends with their family, and actually creating and building very good friendships with these people. To the extent that it could actually get a little bit more personal. I'll tell you of a certain lady that was complaining the other day. She got into a relationship with this guy, and they actually eventually got married. But before she got married, her little brother told her, oh, he's now taking you away from me. He was actually jealous. And what happened later is they got to actually build a very, very beautiful friendship that now this lady is actually jealous of, her husband and her brother's friendship. It's so beautiful. Yeah. I actually saw the video and I was like, oh, wow. Anyway, I would want that for my brother. I hope it happens anytime soon. So let's talk about, do you think that when you break up with your significant other, that you should cut off ties with their friends and their family as well?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. But of course, it's going to depend on a couple of issues. If we are friends, I'm going to expect some sort of, loyalty. You could stay friends with my ex-boyfriend or whatever, but I expect you not to cross certain lines. Just, normal human beings. But I feel like also as people, we forget that we don't own anyone. You understand? Like, you don't own anyone. And the best thing that can ever happen to a person is if you actually understand that, you know what, I will never be able to control this person or what they do and how they do it. So for you saying just because I've broken up with this person, they should stop talking to my family, they should stop talking to my friend, that's you being a control freak. It's okay. It was a relationship. It was a time in your life that was meant, you know, to help you be better, understand, learn some lessons, and move on. So if a relationship has failed, it's okay. Let the person go. You've learned your lesson. Keep it moving. The other relationships that the person will have gotten into along the way, respect them as well. It's up to them. That's like, those are two different individuals. So for me, I don't believe in the notion of, you know, once you've broken up, stop talking to my friends, stop talking to my family, especially if you had a good relationship with them.
Prior, or you know, you got to know these people from me.
Even if I got to know this is why I'm telling you, like, we need to understand some basics. Yes, if you got to know this person from, if I introduced you to this person, then there are certain boundaries you do not cross. You understand? And now let me give you an example. Actually had a friend of mine. I'm really sorry, but a friend of mine,
for outing them. Okay.
No, yes, I'm really sorry for outing them. Yes, but it's not like I'm going to mention names or anything. But she was in a relationship with this particular gentleman, and her friend got introduced to this gentleman. So they also had like a different kind of friendship going on. So once they broke up, of course they were no more. And remember, this guy like really broke this girl's heart, broke her heart. And moving on, the guy, it was time to get married, and decides to call the ex's friend, the one who was introduced to him by the ex-girlfriend, to attend the wedding. So it's like, we are together, we've broken up, but because I've introduced Uwase to you, you're not caring, you're actually asking Uwase to come for my wedding. But the thing is that, where does your loyalty lie? I've been friends with you, Uwase, before. You got to know my man later on. We've broken up. He is getting married to a whole different other woman. I'm probably still healing and still, you know, dealing with a breakup. What makes you think it's okay for you to go for that wedding? You see, so there's some lines you cannot cross.
No, because you already mentioned that you don't own people.
Yes.
Yes. So if you don't own people, that means they are at liberty to attend these functions when they are invited. But again, I do think that if
can I rebuttal?
Yes, please do.
Can I rebuttal? Yes, they're entitled to attend whenever and whenever they feel like they want to attend or be at any place. But that's where now you have to understand, is this my friend or is not my friend? We also have friendship rules. You understand? And one of the biggest things that I talk about when it comes to friendships that people don't respect is loyalty. I can still be friends with you, but I'll say no. I'll say, you know what? I understand this is a very important day in your life. However, I got to know you from Uwase. There is no way under the sun I'm going to be present for that wedding after you moved on with this woman and left my friend there dying and healing and, you know, figuring it out herself.
Don't you think you're kind of contradicting yourself? And the reason I say this is because...
No, listen, guys, let me make it clear.
Priva, let me make it clear what I mean. You have said that, you know, when the relationship has ended, you as an individual, you should know that you do not own these people, whether they got to know your family and friends prior to knowing you or with you while they were with you.
We are talking about rules.
If they are invited to a function because you have broken up with them, it doesn't negate the fact that they cannot still be friends with the other people. So they have been invited to their wedding. Why shouldn't they show up?
The circumstances.
Because, that's why for me, I will say that I wouldn't want my ex to be friends with my family after we've broken up, or to be friends with my friend after we've broken up, because there will always be a conflict of loyalty. And the reason I say this is because if we are hanging out, okay, let's say there is a party at home, and if you're now friends with my brother and they invite you over for a function, maybe we are in the situation where we're actually not talking, or we don't even want to see each other face to face. So what happens? My brother is friends with this person, and they're very attached, and maybe they want to have a good time together, and then there's me in the picture who doesn't want to see this person at all. So there will always be conflicting loyalty. So me, I would think that if I get into a relationship and I introduce this man to my friends and my family, when the relationship is done, it should be done on the other end as well. I don't know if I'm being very selfish but that's what I would think.
Sorta. Oh, let me clarify what I actually said. I gave the example of a wedding because it's like the best example to actually understand that even with friendships and even with allowing your other friend to be their own person, there are certain boundaries you cannot cross. If it was a birthday party, I'd be like, it's okay, go on and have fun, cut cake and eat and enjoy. If it was a party, maybe let's say he's celebrating an appointment, or he has gotten a new job, or he has gotten a new car, or it's a housewarming party, you go celebrate with him. That's good. But where do we draw the line? You are not going to go and attend a wedding, yes, with this woman that's sort of like, if you look at it, yes, this guy moved on from you, got another woman, married them, but your friend is more than happy to celebrate that holy matrimony. I don't know. I think me as a friend, I wouldn't. But that's why I'm saying, like, I want people to be their own person, but there's certain instances or certain circumstances that will not allow me to cross the line. And that includes things like, you know, if a breakup was actually nasty. We haven't talked about that. You know, the circumstances. How did the relationship end? Was the breakup nasty? Was it, did you guys sit down and say, you know what, we agree, this is a consensus?
Does it matter because this was between you and your man, or you and your woman, not between you and the friends?
Okay, it matters, because now imagine I broke up with this gentleman because he let's say maybe he was violent, he beat me, or he did something like that. At what point is my brother allowed to have a relationship with that kind of person? Circumstances really do matter. It depends on how that relationship thingy ended. If it was on bad terms, there's no way you expect your people to still there. It's a clear no. I'm saying no, do not, you cannot condone violent people. You can't.
Anyway, before we get into what to not do and what to do after you have a breakup, let's talk about how would you feel if your friends are in constant communication with your ex?
Constant on what levels?
Constant communication, because while you were still dating, they were in constant communication with them. How are you? Texting often, calling often, and that still happens after the breakup. How would you feel about that? I mean, we are seated for coffee, could be a cocktail, whatever it is, and then guess what? Your ex is calling me because we were friends while you guys were together, and I have to pick up this phone call. How would you feel about that?
Well, I think in human nature, jealousy is a part of, you know, the equation. But like I said, it's different factors that play into this, Aggie. How did the breakup end? What were the circumstances? Were we on good terms? Did I break up with you? Because we're looking at it from the other, you know, angle of like, oh, the man has broken up with you, or you're just on your own, you're alone. No. What happened? Did I break up with you? If I broke up with you, do you get what I'm saying?
I think if I'm at a point where I've healed completely and completely let go of this person, I wouldn't be fazed. Even if I found you in the bar, you guys having a good time, I wouldn't be bothered at all. If anything, you can go ahead and date that person.
Because it's
if
good
I've
to leave the past
completely
in the
let
past.
go of that person. But anyway, let's talk about the don'ts of a breakup. I don't want us to talk about the do's. Let's talk about the don'ts. What shouldn't you do after a breakup with a person, the person you're dating?
I think do not try to be in contact with them or figure out how they're doing or how they're processing their feelings or anything like that. Like, be on your own healing journey. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to move on to the next phase in your life. Allow that person, release them. Release them, let them go to the world.
It's not easy when you've been attached to someone for the last 5 years.
But attached to what? Also, that's another thing.
Attached, I mean, emotionally attached to this person, physically attached to this person. Let's say you've been married.
Can we talk? Let's say you've been married and you have maybe say kids and finances together and all those things.
Letting go is a little bit hard.
Well, the don't is that if you're in a situation like that where you have kids, you have finances that you have to deal with as a couple or as parents, if I should put it that way, then you understand that the interests of your children have to come first. You understand? Like, at that point, like, I think it involves rational thinking, sitting down and asking yourself, like, what is going to be good for the kids? What is going to be good for me? What is going to be good for the other party? Sit down and come to an understanding and say, okay, fine, we still have these joint accounts. We can still operate like this for the sake of the kids. Yes. The breakup, I think also the don'ts of the breakup is that do not be out there making a fool of yourself, running around and trying to figure out what your ex is doing. Let them go. Let them go. Yes, let them go. Even if you find them in a bar and they're having a good time with someone else, let it be. I mean, like, emotions can come. Yes, it's okay for you to be emotional, but don't do that. Do not do that, because now
Don't
it makes
embarrass
things
yourself.
not even on top of embarrassing yourself, you're making things harder, because no one wants to be in that space where it's like a back and forth. You're over me, you're not over me, you're over me, you're not over me. No one wants that. Yeah, but I'd love to know what you think. What do you think we shouldn't do after breakups?
There's so many don'ts, but let me give you some of the don'ts of a breakup, so that you know how to go about your breakup, and also in case you're going through a breakup at the moment. One of them is don't beg for another chance. I know so many people fall culprit to this. Now, chances are, if you got dumped, you want a second chance. You want this person back. Maybe you still want the relationship, but you got dumped. Don't beg or ask for a second chance. If anything, give that person to have the space to sit back, think, miss you if they have to miss you. See the good things about you that they are missing, and maybe they can come back if they really have to. But for you to go out there begging for another chance is a don't. On my list, top of my list. The other one is get off social media. Now, definitely this is a recommendation for everyone that is so much attached to social media. I think it's time for you to go off, especially because you might actually be going through your Instagram and you're seeing these reels about beautiful couples, wedding and going on honeymoon, and maybe you're actually making marriage plans or wedding plans with this person, and you don't want that to get to your mind. It might not be good for your mental. And the other thing about social media, you'll always see different posts. Maybe on top of the social media bit of it, unfollow that ex of yours on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their Snapchat. Stop keeping up with them and their lives unless you want to be depressed. That is a don't, honestly. And okay, yes, another one is revenge is a dish best not served. Do not find yourself in a situation where you want to revenge, hit back at this person, go talk about them to their family and friends, like bad mouthing this person. It doesn't serve you in any way. The other one is don't dare or marry the first one to come along. Oh wow, this one is actually very interesting. How do you say not? Do you think
the first
this is
person that comes along, do not? Yes, there's a chance you haven't healed. You're still going through that process of, understanding what you actually want. Because you realize many people love those rebound relationships. You're out of a relationship, not even 1 month is done. You haven't processed your feelings. You're rushing into another relationship. You're rushing into another relationship. That constant need to be in a relationship will make you mess up and make basically the wrong choices over and over again. Yeah, but when you give yourself some time to heal, process why the relationship came to an end, process what you actually want. I don't know why people fear solitude, but it's one of the best things. You get to understand me as Priva. What is it that I want? What is it that I don't want? How happy? What makes me happy? What do I need going forward? And getting into another relationship with another person. What are my do's and don'ts? What are my rules? What am I expecting? Like, being alone helps you process so much.
Yes, being alone is actually very important. The other one is don't share his or her dirty secrets. I already mentioned that. Alone is okay, but isolating is not. Be alone. Priva has talked about it, but do not isolate yourself from other people. That can, plunge you into depression. The other one is don't turn to substances for support. Could be alcohol, could be drugs, whatever it is that you might want to use as a coping mechanism for the situation. Do not put yourself in that situation. And the other one is don't idealize or idolize your ex. I'll talk about this for one reason, that there's a moment when I was that kind of person. So there was this very amazing person in my life, short story, and when we broke up, every other person that came into my life could not measure up to this person. I am telling you that I would meet this other person and look at them head to toe, and I'm like, oh no, look at their pockets, yes, very important. Look at their financial status. I'd look at their jobs. I'd look at like different things, their family and
history.
All that. So yes, if you put yourself in that situation, you will never move on. Speaking from someone who has experienced it firsthand,
one-on-one.
Never put yourself there. Well, I'm out of it for now. Well, that is all we had for you in this segment of our views, but you can continue this conversation on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at CTV Uganda. Post-breakup rules, do's and don'ts. What do you think? Let us know.
Well, we've come to the end of an amazing episode of Sunrise at Sea. I had fun, especially this last conversation that we talked about in regard to post-breakup rules. And I think finally, as I wrap up, I'm just going to say, at the end of it all, do not ever say it's it's okay for you to ghost someone, yes? If you get out of a relationship with someone, talk it out in person. Be firm with your decisions and don't go back, yes? But well, today we also had a good, amazing conversations. On our Twitter Jabs, we did talk about the East Africa Legislative Assembly, and I actually sat down with the nominations, and actually sat down with Mr. Julius Buchana, who is actually an aspirant, and of course the nominations for the IALA did kick off yesterday, I beg your pardon, and they're going to be ending this day at 5 p.m. So if you're an aspirant there and you want to take part in the IALA nominations electoral process, this is your chance. Before 5 p.m. today, go on and pick your nomination forms. Well, the conversation is definitely going to continue on our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and also, YouTube. Do subscribe, because for every episode that you miss here, we do post up all the segments on our YouTube channel. So look for CTV Uganda, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be getting all the timely notifications. Well, that's all I had for you this morning. My name is Priva Elibaz. Have yourselves a wonderful day.